Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 159 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into some other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, April the 29th, 2023, and it's kind of an overcast it's an overcast day out there today. We had quite a bit of rain yesterday. It's still overcast, but it's not been raining at all today. But I've been inside all day, so it doesn't matter to me. I hope everyone is doing well. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy it here. I hope you come back. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what kind of knitting shenanigans I've been up to. I'm always so happy to have you here with me. If you have not yet subscribed, go for it. Why not? And while you're at it, you can click that little notification bell and it'll let you know whenever I post a new video, which is typically every week later on Saturday, late afternoon or Saturday evening. I tend to film on Saturday late morning, earlier afternoon, then by the time I get the editing done and all of that and uploaded, it's usually sometime later Saturday evening before it gets all done. But I'd be so happy to have you here with me week after week. Just drinking plain old water today. Or now. It was tea earlier, but we're switched over to water now. So, the news for the week, I'm out. I did not make it into round 5 of Sock Madness. Kind of disappointed, but I'm also super happy with how far I got this year. This past week, I've had some issues going on that didn't allow me to knit quite as much or as fast as I would have liked. And I'll explain that towards the end. But when I went to bed last night, there was one spot left on my team. When I got up this morning, it was all full. So I'm only partly done. One sock completely done. The second sock, not quite. When I got up this morning, or better yet, when I went to bed last night, I had one sock complete and I was partway through the gusset decreasing. So I was at this point here. So I've really dawdled on my knitting today. I thought, I've got all kinds of other things to catch up on. All kinds of things that have basically been kind of pushed aside. And I've just knit on these at a super relaxing pace. So I've only added a few rounds. About an inch and a half. But I have finished the gusset decreasing, so now I just need to continue with the pattern down the foot and then do the toe. And these will be done. So how about I tell you what they are? I haven't done that yet. Oh goodness. These are, again, the Sock Madness 17 round 4 socks. And they're called Squaring Off. And the designer is Shuyi Wu. And they're a fun pattern. I will admit to struggling with these and not being able to knit anywhere near as fast as I normally would knit or would like to knit, and clearly not fast enough to make it into the next round. There was 15 people on each team that will make it to the next round. This round will end either on Tuesday, I forget what time, or whenever everyone else is done or all the teams are full. So I've got, the second sock is well over halfway done. So since I saw you last week, Well, you can barely see where that marker is, can you? Anyway, where this marker is here, it's probably about the same place last week as I was this morning when I got up and was knocked out. So since last week I saw you, I finished the gusset on this sock all the way down the foot and toe, and well over halfway down, or halfway done with the second sock. So as I said, I am a bit disappointed that I didn't advance, but I am happy to have got through to round 4 this year. So I think the farthest I've ever been, so I think a couple years I made it into round 5, and that's the farthest. So round 4 is, I'm proud of round 4. I just wish I could have made it into round 5 this year, but I didn't, so that's absolutely fine. And my other knitting for the week, I basically spent almost all of my spare time this week working on my squaring off socks. My other whip I have 3 whips right now. So the third whip I've done nothing with this week. This one, I spent a little bit of time on it last Sunday, and the rest of my spare time during the week was spent working on my squaring off socks. So in my Moonstone Dye Works project bag, I have my April Sorta Shorty toe-up socks, and they're coming along nicely. I'm almost done. I only have a day and a half of April left, so maybe I ought to get a wiggle on. So I'd like to manage to get each of these pair of socks done in their respective month. So the toes are done, the foot gussets are done, the heel is done, and I'm over halfway done with the stockinette portion on the leg. Since I saw you last week, I was at this little cat marker, and I've just added this little bit. Basically, the only time I worked on these this past week was on Sunday morning at church, or during Sunday school and at church. So I only got maybe 10 or 15 rounds, not even 15, 10 or so rounds done. So what the plan is to finish the rest of the leg. Will have 25 rounds, and then I will switch over to doing a 2x2 rib on it, and I will do that for probably 15 to 25 rounds. I will go as far as I can on that with what's left of my yarn, which is not very much right now. And then once that's done, or once the yarn is completely exhausted, I will switch and use my bare yarn and do just a couple rounds at the very top for a little splash of color, just so that I can use every last inch of my yarn. The yarn I'm using for that is from my Orlando Fiber Arts 12-day advent calendar, and that was one I got this past Christmas, and where it has the advent has 12 50-gram skeins of yarn, and the 50-gram skein of yarn, if I do an alternate color toe, heel, and a tiny bit at the top in the alternate color, the 50-gram is perfect for a Sorta Shorty sock where the leg is not going to be overly long, which is my preferred leg on a sock. So each month I'm opening one of the 12 days. So day 1 was January, day 2 February, and so on. So on Monday I will be able to open my day 5 or May yarn. And the goal is, so between now and when I see you next week, my goal is to finish my April socks which to do in a week is doable. I really would like to have my May socks finished before Monday. So I think I might switch over to working on those after I'm done filming. Although we're going out to a movie tonight, so I won't have a chance to work as much in the evening, but I will have some time to work on it tomorrow. So my hope is that I will finish those socks by the end of the day tomorrow. Then I can open May. So I will be able to go in and open up day 5. I can't wait to see what's in here. So I've opened the first 4 and I still have 8 more left to go. So that's the plan. I'm hoping to get the socks finished by Sunday night so that on Monday morning I can get going on the contrast color toes and be ready to start adding in the May yarn. So I'm really excited to see what that color looks like. By the time I see you next week, I also hope to have the squaring off socks finished. Even though I'm eliminated, I do want to finish them. I'm kind of hoping I can have them finished by Tuesday so I get them done during the 2-week window that this round was open. If I don't get it done in that time frame, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I will wait and see whether I will cast on round 5. As I said, I'm no longer in the competition, but if I really love the socks, I potentially will cast them on and make them as well. We shall see. Unless it's something I absolutely love, I suspect I might pass on casting them on. As I said, unless it's something I'm completely wild about. I have other whips that really need my attention. Like I say, I want to finish April. I want to finish the round 4 socks. I want to start my May socks. And I still have my Rachel top. I did not touch that at all this week. And I'm still working on finishing the front of that sweater. I'm hoping I'll be able to make time to work on that this week coming up, but we shall see. This week coming up is going to be, for the next full week is going to be relatively busy for me. Yesterday was the last day of classes on campus. This week now coming up, Monday through Thursday, are all the final exams and any final projects that need to be done. All of those are due this week coming up. So the 1st to the 4th of May. So school-wise, I'm going to be busy this week coming up. I have an awards ceremony that I need to go to on Sunday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon. And so I have that. Then I have my last bit of grading that needs to be finished, plus all my final exam grades. The final exam grading needs to be done. And all the final grades need to be tabulated, entered, submitted, all of that stuff. So that all needs to be done all in this week coming up. And then on Friday, there is an end of semester luncheon for faculty and staff. It's the faculty and staff award ceremony. And after that's done, it is the graduation ceremony rehearsal on Friday afternoon. So I'll be tied up with that for the better part of the day on Friday. And then Saturday in the morning is graduation. So I'm excited for that. I'm always excited for graduation. I really enjoy it. I love all the pomp and ceremony that's involved with it. I love being able to wear my regalia. I'll have to see if I can get some pictures or video of me wearing my regalia to include for you guys next week. So it's just always, I love being able to wear my regalia. I love watching all the students walk across the stage to get their degrees, to get their diplomas, to be finished. It's just such a wonderful time. Just always so excited to watch them all graduate. So I am really excited for that. It's always a highlight of my year, is the graduation ceremony. And then once that's done, I'm done for the semester. And we will then be on our summer break from teaching. I do have other things, service things that I work on in the summer, and research stuff that I work on in the summer. So I won't just be sitting on my padded tail feathers and doing nothing. I will be doing work-related stuff the majority of the summertime. But it's just a lot more of a relaxed pace and a lot more of a flexible pace. I kind of do things when I want to and not according to like a specific schedule I have to keep to. So looking forward to that. And the only other thing I had this past week, or over the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, I've been having some trouble with my right eye. And it's settling down now, but last week, while we were staying at the cabin, I started noticing on the corner of my right eye these bright flashes of light. Noticed the most when it was dark or in the evening or earlier in the morning, or if I was in a dark room, I see these like bright flashes of light on the side. So I was nowhere near home. I couldn't go to my eye doctor. I didn't think serious enough to go to an emergency room or anything, but I kept having that. And then by the time I got home, we're heading into the weekend. My eye doctor's only in during the week. So by then the flashing had kind of subsided a bit, and I started getting, you know how you get those little floaters in your vision every once in a while? I started getting those, and part of the time it looked like I had like a piece of black lace that I was looking through in the top portion of my line of vision on the right eye. And so Monday morning rolled around. I phoned my eye doctor's office. My eye doctor is not in on Mondays, so I got an appointment to come in on Wednesday. They looked at it. She dilated this eye, which is such a bizarre. You've never had your eyes dilated for an exam. It's not the funnest. My eyes are sensitive to bright lights at the best of times, so having them dilated where they have no protection to close up if it's bright was hard. But she was able to take a really good look inside my eye and decided that it was nothing serious, as I had suspected and hoped, although it's never a good idea to Google health problems. Google had me thinking it was everything from I was having a stroke, which I thought, okay, that can't be possible because I had zero other symptoms and for over a duration of time. So that can't be a stroke. It's probably not a brain tumor. And all kinds of, it just goes through all these possible things. I was like, I don't think it's a detached retina because it would be a lot more severe than what it was. So anyway, after doing the exam, she was happy to say that there were no tears, no holes, no problems with the retina. And I'd also suspected there was really no problems with the retina because I had just been in for my just regular annual eye exam in February. But she did say what it is what's known as a PVD, which is posterior vitreous detachment. And what it is, it's something that's fairly common. It's something that happens as people age, which kind of offended my little senses because I'm like, I'm not aging. Yeah, sorry, I am. But what happens is as you age, in some people, the liquid portion, like that little kind of like the inside of your eyeball, it kind of gets a little bit more gel-like, and the sac that's in, as the fluid portion decreases a little bit in volume, which is a perfectly normal natural thing that happens in a lot of people, it starts to pull away from, that tissue starts to pull away from the retina. And so when you're seeing those flashes of light, that is when the membrane is pulling away from the retina. It typically takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks for it to completely finish detaching, and then it's just motorcycles. And then once it's finished detaching and the part it's going to be detaching from, it just settles down and it's done. Also, it's quite common if you have it in one eye, within a year it'll happen in your other eye. So I have that to look forward to. So right now I still have little flashes of light on the side, and I have oodles of floaters. Sometimes they look like little guys that are just dangling. Thankfully, most of the time it's up near the top of my line of vision, and kind of off to the periphery, and not directly in the middle of my line of vision, thankfully. So, I lost my train of thought. So I'm still having this happening now. So it's only been about a week and a half. I think it started last week, Tuesday or Wednesday. So that partly slowed down my knitting time because my eye was kind of bothering me a bit with the little floaties and the sparkles and things on the side. So that partly slowed me down, and also partly that the pattern and the design was a slower knit for me. It's just something like the mosaic knitting and the stranded knitting is something that I'm slower at in general. So combine those two things, and I couldn't get the socks done on time, which is fine. So my eye doctor wants me to come back again in 6 weeks. So I have an appointment in the beginning of June, and she'll dilate my eye again and shine that insanely bright light into my eyeball to see that everything is fine. So she'll do an exam and make sure everything is still good. And she said if anything is feeling worse, or if I'm having any other problems or anything, make an appointment, come in and see her as soon as I can. Just because she said she'd rather see me 100 times and it not be an issue than me ignoring something that might be a problem. So that's good. So I'll be going back, I think it's June 7th. It's on a Wednesday I go back. So I will be going back to get it double checked and see if it's finished doing what it's doing and all that. So that was my excitement with my eyeball. The dilation part is hilarious because my eyes are blue, so it's really striking when you see the pupils dilated, and I've just got like just this little ring of blue around the outside and this huge black pupil in the middle. She put the drops in my eye, and then she had me go and sit out in the waiting room for 20 minutes or so while it did its thing, and she comes back and she said she'll come back and get me 20 minutes or so and then finish the exam. So she comes out and she's like, okay, Karen, we're ready. It's just really striking. Like, it's not as noticeable when my husband had his eyes dilated for something or other a while back. It's not as noticeable because his eyes are brown. So you don't notice that. It's not as stark a contrast with the black of the pupil and a blue eye versus the black and the brown. It's not as high contrast, so it's not quite as striking looking, but on blue eyes it's something else to see. So otherwise, I'm gonna go and get the editing done on this and get back to my knitting. I think I might Oh my goodness. Motorcycles. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to my knitting, keep working on a pair of socks. I don't know which ones yet. We'll see. So I'm gonna quit rambling now and I'll let you go, and I will see you guys again in a week. Hopefully I'll have 2 finished objects to show you next week. Alrighty, take care everyone, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.